So we are talking today about the Omer because we're in the Omer right now. And from that also about Jewish time in general. So to start, I'm just wondering, get a temperature of the room. What do we already know about the Omer? Or if you don't know anything yet, what are you curious about?
My understanding, and it's kind of rudimentary, is that it's the count from the time Passover ends or the Exodus to the time we get to the Mount Sinai, where we're going to receive the Ten Commandments, or Moses will receive the Bible mentally, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I know, so it's Pesach to Shavuot, 49, 7 times 7.
Yes.
With the 7 attributes this way and this way, making a chart. I know that.
Yes. Oh. That's pretty. You got a lot.
Chapter 2 there.
Way ahead of all of the rest of us.
Yeah. I'll just sit over here in the corner and know everything.
Wasn't there also a plague? I don't remember exactly time-wise, but that's why there's Lag BaOmer, because nobody died on that day where people were dying from this plague
It was
all the other days.
Particularly the students of somebody.
Yes, of Rabbi Akiva.
That was it.
Yes.
I'm gonna just make noise.
Go for it.
Okay.
Anything anyone is curious about in particular?
So is the Omer a more of a part? Is this from the Talmud? Where it's the rabbis writing about its significance and Kabbalah, or is this something that's actually in Exodus?
Yeah, when did it come up?
Okay, so we're gonna get into that right now because that's a perfect transition. The answer is yes to all. The Omer in particular, we know in general, it's pretty normal for there to be something that starts in one era and then gets reconstructed and reconstructed and reconstructed for different times. But the Omer in particular is a very, very good example of that, because we do have a biblical source, but there's very, very little in the biblical source. It basically just says, count the days. Count these particular days. And so we will get into the different stories that come about that tell us what the Omer is about. So we're going to turn to our source sheet, which is the one that has the staple. And I want to start on the back because I made a little chart.
Oh, hang on, I gotta rotate it in the window.
Oh, yes.
I didn't. Let's see. Forgive me, folks. It's just sideways. Anybody know how to do that?
I might be able to send you another version that's sideways.
If you got one, you can text or email. Show to what? Does that help me? Yes. 1, 2.
Oh,
got it.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Which section are we starting in? I'll zoom in.
We're gonna start. Well, we're just gonna look at it zoomed out. Yeah. So we're gonna start looking at it zoomed out, and then the rest of the source sheet is the zoomed in version, of all these texts. So we will start in the center, which is the Omer Halachic Basics, and where we see that is the Shulchan Aruch. So that is actually, that's the Orthodox manual of halakha. And Fun fact, it comes from, I think, the 17th century or 18th century, and this writer wrote it for his son for his bar mitzvah. It is unbelievably dense and boring. But it's anything that, an adult Jewish man might need to know, might have a question about. That's the idea from this father.
The curriculum for 17th century bar mitzvah training.
Which the parent did for the child.
Yes, yes.
Because what parent doesn't do the bar mitzvah training for their kid?
Right. So this is where we'll get like the specific laws of what you actually do. In the timeline, this is actually the most recent. Then you'll see we have 3 like sets of arrows. There's actually 5 arrows, but they're sort of divided into 3 groups there. So those are the 3 different categories or 3 different stories about the Omer. We have the grain harvest, and this is the story that comes from Tanakh, that's in the bottom left corner. Then we have the Kabbalistic story up top, and that's where we'll get the Sfirot. Those are the different attributes that Liz was talking about. And then on the bottom right corner, we have Rabbi Akiva, and this is from the rabbinic period, or the Talmud. Oh, I did these out of order for the timeline. I will just say them again so that it's a little clearer. In order of time, we have Tanakh, which is the bottom left corner. Then Talmud, which is the bottom right corner. Then Kabbalah, which is the top.
Sorry, I didn't do color.
No. I think it works with the arrows.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm thinking we can do is we're going to work through the 3 different stories. And talk about what the story is telling us, what is the focus or moral of the story, what do we like and dislike, what does it make us think of, nothing's off the table. So we will start with halachic basics, and I am going to just read that part out loud. This part, like I said, it's not really a story, it's just the rules. So, on the second night of the evening prayer, we begin to count the Omer. If someone forgot to count, that one may count from the beginning of the evening onwards. He may account all night. It is a mitzvah for each person to count for themselves. He needs to count standing and bless beforehand. He should count the days and weeks. How? On the first day, he should say, "Today is day 1 of the Omer," until he arrives to 7 days, at which point he should say, "They are 1 week of the Omer." And on the 8th day, he should say, "Today is 8 days and 1 week, which is 1 week and 1 day of the Omer." And when he arrives to the 14th day, he should say, "Today is 14 days, which is 2 weeks of the Omer." In this way, he should count and onwards until the 49th day. Initial thoughts?
Very detailed.
Yes.
Instructions.
It does seem to me the thing that jumps out is we're counting the days and the weeks. And to me that's like, which one do we count? Well, let's just count both just in case.
Yeah.
And here it says
So by doing the counting, I mean, why should we be doing the counting? I mean, is it we're counting for thanks, or is there something deeper?
As of now, it's because the Torah told us to.
Okay.
It's a because I said so, so far.
and of course we layer and twist.
Yes.
Color.
Because that is not
why
good enough.
is not is not in the manual for B'nai Mitzvot. It's just this is how you do it.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And Joey was saying he struggled with the ideas of counting and not counting like if you forget. Because here it says you can start late and you can do it at any point in the night. But what do you do if you kind of forget in the middle? Like I forgot 23.
Yeah.
Does that matter?
Well, and that's, you would continue to count, but you would not say the blessing anymore, which feels kind of like a punishment.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get to the end.
Yeah.
And I will say, we were talking about this in a class recently, and I don't think there was anyone in the room who had ever gotten to the end saying it without ever forgetting one day.
And I'm thinking it's just like, it's like when you get a freeze on your Duolingo streak.
Mm-hmm.
You were perfect. That you had to, okay, maybe not perfect. So it's the asterisk on things.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay, so let's get into the stories, the reasons and stories that we tell about why, because I said so.
Doesn't handle real well with Jews.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start with the grain harvest, which has two texts, one on the bottom of page 1 and one on the top of page 2. Would someone like to read the first text, the bottom of page 1?
I can. After eating unleavened bread for 6 days, you shall hold a solemn gathering for the eternal your God on the 7th day. You shall do no work. You shall count off 7 weeks. Start to count the 7 weeks when the sickle is first put to the standing grain. Then you shall observe the Feast of Weeks for the eternal your God, offering your free will contribution according as the eternal your God has blessed you.
Okay, and then let's read the second one right away as
Wait,
well.
so-
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So is that you start when the sickle is first put to the standing grain, and then you do the free will contribution at the end. So is that basically measuring the amount of time that the grain needs to stand to dry before it's a free will offering?
Oh, yeah.
Theoretically, yeah.
Okay, because grain doesn't just get harvested and then thrashed.
Right.
You have to harvest it, let it sit and dry, and then it gets thrashed.
That makes sense.
Also, they're not counting days, they're just counting weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is festival of
Unless
weeks.
you use a combine.
Yeah, I mean, back then. But it's still not ready to be, when you use the combine, it's still not ready to be ground into flour right away.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
You don't combine it until it's dry. You
Oh, okay.
You
So
always go out and you
Okay.
have a kit that you can test
Yeah.
the moisture.
Okay.
And when it's dry enough, then you combine.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Since back then they would cut it first so it would stop growing,
Yeah.
and then it would be dry enough to.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when we used thresh machines.
Yeah.
You know, we would have the bundles out, and you had to stand the bundles up so the grain would dry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Then
of.
you'd go through with a wagon, a tractor, and with pitchfork, and
Drop 'em
that's
into
where
the
the
thrasher.
name pitchfork comes from.
Ah,
You're,
yeah.
you're pitching grain into the wagon,
Oh.
and then when the wagon is full, you take it up and feed it into
To
the
the
thresh
thrasher.
machine,
Yeah.
and you would blow the straw into the barn, and the grain would go into the granary. You know, you had on the side would be where the grain came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back end was a blower and a big pipe, and that would blow the straw in the barn.
And in their time period, they would cut the grain, put it into these big piles, and then the piles would sit there and dry out, just like he was describing.
Yeah.
And then the women would go out and
Yeah, they
cut the
had
tops off
flails.
and flail the grain and thrash the grain by hand into a basket, basically, and pull the straw out.
So it's because everything was so agriculturally focused and timing.
Yep.
So
Timing
it's
of
tying
agriculture.
the agriculture to the religious festivals and the sacrifices and things.
Right, because
So-
you can't donate the grain to
Until
the,
it's ready.
until it's ready.
So you can, it has
Yeah,
to wait.
because I'm
yeah.
old enough, I remember going from horses to tractors,
Yeah,
you know,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember my father plowing a field with oxen.
yeah,
It's
you know,
Reconstructionist
that,
farming.
You know,
Yes.
15-acre field, that took you a while.
yeah, oh yeah.
Well, and speaking of timing, notice when counting starts for this one. It's the first few words there.
After you was on the 7th day. So it's not, it's the second to last day of Pesach. So
Yeah.
Pesach hasn't ended yet, whereas the other one was like right at the beginning of Pesach.
Yes. So this would
Second
be at
day
the
or
end
7th.
of, yeah.
That's not 49. But this one's just counting
Well,
weeks, so.
That's what's interesting is originally this wouldn't have landed on Shavuot then.
Oh, yeah,
Ah,
Because it still says count 7 weeks, so it still would have been 49.
you're
And
right.
started
That's
later
right.
and ended later.
Okay.
Ah, so it had actually ended on Rosh Hashanah.
No, just after
Or
Shavuot.
just like a few days.
Just a few
After
days.
Or like a
Shavuot.
week later.
Yeah, a week, yeah.
Okay.
But Shavuot, I don't think has a specific date. So was Shavuot different as well? There's lots of questions.
Yeah.
So let's read the second one.
Leviticus 23, right?
Yes.
Until that very day, until you have brought the offering of your God, you shall eat no bread or parched grain or fresh ears. It is a law for all time, throughout the ages, in all your settlements. And from the day on which you bring the sheaf of elevation offering, the day after the Sabbath, you shall count off 7 weeks. They must be complete. You must count until the day after the 7th week, 50 days. Then you shall bring an offering of new grain to God. So this is starting at Pesach, a week of no bread, and then 7 weeks. 50 days, really. Okay.
And it starts the day after the Sabbath.
Oh, so that's another starting point.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be
And-
2nd day, 7th day, or the day after the Sabbath during Pesach.
Yes.
Does this mean that they did not eat bread all the way from Passover to Shavuot?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh yeah, until you have brought the offering, because you're not bringing the offering until day
Does
50.
seem like that, yeah.
Yeah.
No bread or parched grain.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough. That's Lenti.
Mm-hmm.
Very Lenti. I haven't got that before.
Or is that the old grain, the sheaf of elevation offering is the old grain, and then the new grain is a next offering? So it's 2 different offerings.
Oh.
Could be.
Oh, maybe there's an offering was made on the Sabbath because you're starting to count the next day. Does that make sense? Where there's Sabbath offerings?
Yeah.
It does.
Just checking.
The answer
Yeah.
is it's hard to read this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is less manual, less bar mitzvah project,
Yeah.
Yeah.
more vague.
Yeah.
We also get more categories of like no bread, no parched grain, or fresh ears. You're not touching the grain. You're not eating it, no matter what form it's in. As opposed to specifically unleavened bread is what you are eating.
Because in grain-based food sources, like in Ukraine, the grain gets eaten in multiple ways. So like the fresh grains, we make the wheat berries into something.
Yeah.
So we eat the wheat berries first, and then the other wheat berries that dry out, we turn into flour.
Mm-hmm.
So you can eat them in both forms.
Yeah.
Americans don't, but you can eat them in all different kinds of forms.
And considering how heavily agrarian the society was, you'd have to assume they were using every form.
Yeah.
Right, because it's all
Yeah,
you
we
had.
used to grind our own
Yeah.
flour and cornmeal.
Yeah.
As the conversation came up the other night about eating locusts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we
You've
were
got a
talking about
plague, you've got a
if
lot.
you've got a plague of locusts, you've got no other format for food. So locusts had best be kosher.
Yep. They're the
Yeah.
They're the only insects that are kosher.
Yeah.
Those insects only eat grain, so they're not meant, they don't eat flesh or they're not scavengers.
Yeah.
I haven't occurred to me. You're right.
Mm.
Because it's a cleaner, like you can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so what's the moral of the story here? Or what story are we telling this Omer?
Be present and mark. Like this is conscious thought time. Like it's like remember this up. Count. Like the very specific. You must do this. It's the longest instruction we have. Everything else is usually 24 hours or 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
So 49 days it's the biggest homework project. It's the final.
Yeah. And it's all in preparation of an offering to God. So it's really like all connected to like service and devotion and prayer and
Like building an intention over 7 weeks. Okay.
And it sounds like, I'm not sure the significance of this, the 49 days takes you from the end of winter to the beginning of summer.
It's full on spring.
yeah.
And that's because Pesach is when we start saying sends down the dew.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Because we
so
just
it's a significant ecological change that they can do.
Yeah. Yeah, so paying attention, I would assume paying attention every day to what day it is, what the weather patterns are, how many days it has been since the last rain, last sun, last whatever would be incredibly important over that time. And probably important not just for the time being, but also they didn't have Doppler to figure out the coming season and what they might be expecting. So I imagine that would be an important time for figuring things out for the coming season for agriculture as well.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this story before we move to the next one, which has a lot more action?
Thank you, Akiva. There we go.
All right, let's move to Rabbi Akiva. So we're moving from the Tanakh, we're moving from the ancient Israelites to the Talmudic period, or really like the Mishnaic period. So very late Second Temple or early post Second Temple. Would somebody like to read? People on Zoom are also welcome to read. We have good volume, so we can hear you.
Should I read?
Sure.
Okay. Rabbi Akiva says that the verse should be understood as follows. If one studied Torah in his youth, he should study more Torah in his old age. If he had students in his youth, he should have additional students in his old age, as it is stated, in the morning sow your seed, etc. They said by way of example that Rabbi Akiva had 12,000 pairs of students in an area of land that stretched from Gavat to Antipatris in Judea, and they all died in one period of time, because they did not treat each other with respect. And the world was desolate of Torah until Rabbi Akiva came to our rabbis in the south and taught his Torah to them. The second group of disciples consisted of Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosei, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Eleazar ben Shammai. Is that?
Shamua. Yeah.
Shammua. and these are the very ones who upheld the study of Torah at that time. Although Rabbi Akiva's earlier students did not survive, his later disciples were able to transmit the Torah to the future generations. With regard to the 12,000 pairs of Rabbi Akiva's students, the Gemara adds, it is taught that all of them died in the period from Passover until Shavuot. Rav Hama bar Abba said, and some say, it was Rabbi Hia bar Avin, they all died a bad death. The Gemara inquires, what is it that is called a bad death? Rav Naaman said, diphtheria.
Okay.
That's a pretty bad death.
Yeah, it is. So, a little bit of context. Rabbi Akiva was alive during, like I said, the Mishnaic period. So that is very early rabbinics. And we have this story, and then we have, when it says the Gemara adds, the last 3 lines there, that is the later rabbis, like hundreds of years later, adding this other information that has probably been passed down as tradition. So that's where we get the idea that this story took place during the Omer. And then the other bit of context is that historians think most likely that this is an allusion to, rather than a plague, a revolt against the Romans, because Rabbi Akiva was pretty vocal in his opposition to Roman oppression. But it was very common for the rabbis to write in ways that would not speak specifically to the politics of the time, so that it couldn't be traced back to what they were really talking about. And it was very common for them to put things in terms of spiritual warfare rather than like what was physically going on.
So the Romans become diphtheria.
Right. Or diphtheria is a result of the real thing that happened, but really it's because of the spiritual, warfare that was going on.
So Rabbi Akiva lived when the second temple was still there, and then he lived maybe to see the destruction of it. Is that correct?
I don't remember if he would have seen the destruction of the temple or if he would have just lived during the Jewish revolts in which Rome totally dispersed all the Jewish people. But he definitely would have been witness to that. That's also when Rome changed the name to, I don't remember what is in Rome, Syria, Palestina. And like officially there were basically no more Jews in Jerusalem. And Rabbi Akiva escaped to
The south.
Yeah, actually to they say the south, it's really south, it's more east than south. Babylon, to where the other Jewish center was, and that's where the other Talmud was written. There's the Talmud Yerushalmi and the Talmud Bavli, or Babylonian Talmud.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So thoughts on this story? What does this story have to tell us, to teach us in general, and why might it be connected to the Omer? No wrong answers.
Well, we were given at Sinai the Torah, so this is part of to me it's part of the continuous learning. So it ties in with that. So that's my simplistic read on it.
I like that. It gets to this Talmudic idea that there's no before or after in Torah. It's, time in Torah is more of a flat circle. Things can get timey-wimey. And so maybe this time period is like a potent time of year that we come back to, where we're tapping into that the Exodus and the wandering in the desert and receiving Torah at Sinai. I think that's good.
The one thing that pops to my mind is there's no earlier or later in the Torah, but apparently there really is in your life. You should be doing better in your old age. You should have more time for Torah. And Joey's saying as you're older, you might have more time then. But it's very much, there's definitely there should be a progression kind of thing in the beginning here.
I'm going to throw one out there that I don't like the whole idea of saying in the morning, sow your seed, which usually implies child creation as a analogy for teaching. It's,
But it is.
But we think agricultural.
I get that, and also it's just
It may also be a reference to the idea that you're supposed to have children first and then study and then become a teacher.
okay. I like that.
Okay.
I'll accept that one
Yep.
much better than where my brain was going, which is just not appropriate.
I think the it comes modern.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
there's a
it
lot of
comes
ick
from
in
modern
from the
life.
rabbis too, but
Yeah, I mean, I've known too many rabbis and cantors who've had to leave congregations for reasons that
Now, what are these?
match.
These are really good. Okay.
That,
yes,
that
right,
it
right.
factor.
Yeah, we'll have one more. You're really good.
And I'll throw out there that it is important that we understand that happens in any community, not just Catholic communities. I think that's important for us to not acknowledge that it's not just them over there. It happens everywhere.
And Joey was saying, to Rachel's point, I want to think about reconstructing it. Take it as, quote, count in the morning and quote, teach all the people you meet, whether you birth the children or not.
I like that.
I love that. That's
It's
awesome.
Decimating, disseminating, not decimating. Disseminating knowledge, like naturally there's the emphasis of like, teach your kids, make sure your kids come out okay. But there's those of us of the child-free generation and all of the, you can, let's hear for the aunties, that's all I'm saying.
Why might this be tied to the Omer then?
Time. Like time of year?
Time. Yeah, Marty was saying, had a very good point about that.
Because it was added by the Gemara that they died in this period from Passover to Shavuot. So that's a maybe oral tradition or maybe let's just toss it in here. Because you can't know it's hundreds of years later. But these are that's a lot of rabbi names I recognize. Alive at the same time. So that's when they were the ones who wrote the Babylonian Talmud?
No, these were the disciples of Rabbi Akiva. So these were the earlier.
Okay.
Now this story brings us a lot of added tradition. These are customs rather than halacha, which is why they are not found in the Shulchan Aruch. But this is where we get the idea that you are supposed to, this is somewhat of a time of mourning. We don't have weddings during this time. We don't cut our hair.
Leather shoes? That seems to be a popular don't do.
I don't remember if we do or not. Because it's a longer period,
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then, as Marcia was saying, on Lag BaOmer, we have Lag BaOmer is one of those where the lag is just a number in Hebrew. It's the 33rd day in the Omer. That's what it translates to. And the idea is that the plague stopped on this day. So we celebrate. A lot of the celebrations, though, don't actually come from this. They come from the next story.
Aha.
Is that true? Does it include it in there? I don't know if it's actually going to say it in there. But we'll talk about it. I'll add it if it's not in the text. Okay. Final thoughts about Rabbi Akiva's story before we go to the Kabbalah in the medieval period. All right.
Crunch if you need to.
Okay, I am going to read the next one. This one comes from Kabbalah. It is a long list. It is a mouthful.
Everybody knows what Kabbalah is, right?
Yeah, this is medieval Jewish mysticism. There is a lot about divine attributes being the threads that make up the tapestry of creation.
I think a lot of the describing of God stuff is really Kabbalah.
Yes.
Like, they're the ones that were like, okay, let's put words to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they also, a lot of Kabbalah gets really into the importance of different numbers. So this is a list of different sevens, the number 7. So there are 7 directions. And each of these 7 in each of these lists is going to correspond to a different attribute of God that is found in the Kabbalistic map of God, which is the tree of life. If you've seen the circles.
I'll find a picture.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
What's the word for that?
I would just look Kabbalah, tree of life.
Thank you, Wikipedia. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to toggle over to the other app just to show you guys this picture. Here we go. This is the tree of life with the different attributes and then all the interconnectedness and such. Tiny to the TV. Oh yeah, Sephirah. Joe was saying the other word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There are 7 directions. South corresponds to chesed. So when I say it corresponds to and then a word, that's one of the attributes. Just so we don't get too lost. South corresponds to chesed, north to gevura, east to tiferet, up to netzach, down to hod, west to yesod, and center to malchut. There are 7 heavenly bodies. The moon corresponds to chesed, Mars to gevura, the sun to tiferet, Venus to netzach, Mercury to hod, Saturn to yesod, and Jupiter to malchut. There are 7 orifices in the head. The right eye corresponds to chesed, the right ear to gevura, the right nostril to tiferet, the left eye to netzach, the left ear to hod, the left nostril to yesod, the mouth to malchut. There are 7 heavens. Aravot corresponds to the 3 upper sfirot, Keter, Chochmah, and Bina. Ma'on corresponds to Chesed, Mechon, to Gvura, Zevul, to Tiferet, Shechakim, to Netzach and Hod, Rakia, to Yesod, and Vilon, to Malchut. There are 7 days in the week. Sunday corresponds to Chesed, Monday to Gvura, Tuesday to Tiferet, Wednesday to Netzach, Thursday to Hod, Friday to Yesod, and Shabbat to Malchut. There are 7 wildernesses within the children of Israel. within which the children of Israel sojourned. The wilderness of Etam to Chesed, the wilderness of Shor to Gvura, the wilderness of Sin to Tiferet, Paran to Netzach, Sin to Hod, Kadmut to Yesod, and Sinai to Malchut. And lastly, there are 7 weeks of the Omer, 7 years of the Shemitah, and 7 Shmitot of the Yovel, or Jubilee.
The wilderness one seems like it's, all right, you're going on. Like, when do we talk about the different wildernesses? Because I'm trying to think of, like, where that one, like, why would you assign the labels there? Maybe different parts of the journey you could analyze with different separate.
These may also be like Abraham went out to the wilderness of.
Okay.
But sometimes there's a stretch.
Yeah.
So we like 7. That's like completion, right? Or something?
Yes.
Yeah, the orifices of the head is an interesting one too. That's like one of those like, okay kids, come up with things of 7.
Mm-hmm. There are also 7 heavenly bodies, 7 planets, but that is not.
Because we didn't know about
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
We
We
found more
couldn't see
later.
the rest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised if we see all these, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there any story about the Omer here? Because I see just that it happens to be another 7.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add the next of the next. Oh yeah.
I was going to say, did all the other 7s come about because they saw 7 weeks in the Omer as being important? And the 7 years of the Shemitah and the 7 Shmitot of the Yovel being that importance of 7? So then they
The starter 7s.
transmuted that down through and found 7s everywhere else. Which part starts the 7?
Yeah.
Which one's the egg?
I
That
mean,
kind of makes sense. Huh?
Yeah, which one's the egg?
arguably it's what you're saying because they're inheriting the Torah, which has already lifted up 7
Right.
in Shabbat and the Omer and.
So now they have to
Jubilee.
find
Shabbat probably wins.
Yeah, Shabbat,
Yeah.
but then the Jubilee and then the Omer and all the other stuff. So then you basically have to go find 7s everywhere else.
And then you get the rest of the paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rosh Hashanah is also a 7. It's the first of the month, but coming from Nisan, from the month we're in now, it's the 7th month.
Yeah. So there's a lot of 7s to begin with, but they needed to come find 7s in other things.
Mm-hmm.
You like patterns.
Yeah, the Kabbalists definitely liked patterns.
Yeah. Will somebody read the last one at the bottom?
We have learnt, too, that the Jubilee in which slaves go forth to freedom is attached to this brain, and the 50 days of the Jubilee further correspond to the 50 days of the Omer. Thus he stands for the appeasement of the spirit and its going forth to freedom, and thus the going forth from Egypt depends on this compartment and on the letter he of the holy name, as has been explained.
Oh, that should be letter Hey.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
Oh,
My bad.
letter hey. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
There should be a dot underneath there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's really clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to Kabbalah. Um,
Are we sure?
We're working on
is the heat?
No.
Hit it. Sorry, I have a broken thermostat myself, so.
That's all right. I
This
may be the
table
only
will-
one.
This table will chill the room on an average day.
Low? Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
That's right.
Okay.
You're good. Great.
Okay.
As long as the dial's turned to the back. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good.
So it's taking the 50 days as like going forth to freedom after Egypt in a way. So it's like Mitzrayim and, okay, y'all need 50 days to learn how to be free in a way.
And then they're connecting this to the divine attributes.
Yeah.
The letter Hey is the 5th letter of the alphabet.
As far as I know.
I did a really cute third grade assignment with my students to come up with the Gemara of their name, to like actually write out their Hebrew name and then come up with what number numerology was their happy number. It was a fun activity to do with the third graders.
Joey just threw out, I didn't know this, maybe one of the reasons that you're supposed to wait until you're 40 to study Kabbalah, you're supposed to wait until you get,
Yes.
It's one of those, like, you're not ready for this yet, kid.
40 is another
Yeah.
symbol of completion or holiness, like
Fours.
7.
And like a
We were
lot.
talking about fours on
Yes.
Friday night services.
Mm.
Right, Joey, we talked about fours. Like there's 4 exceptions to kashrut. Like that's where the locust conversation came in, as it's
For New
a
Year's.
for New Year's, for there's a bunch of completion numbers that are 4s.
We like patterns.
Again,
And I will think of 40 and eternity and SpongeBob now. Okay, I don't know where SpongeBob comes in, but 40 as like all the things is what I always thought 40 was used for. 40 years in the desert, 40 days in the wilderness, 40, you know.
That comes specifically from Sam, who made that comparison in one of their teachings.
Okay, that should be poor memory. So,
I'm
Rap
very
SpongeBob.
glad that that's my connection.
yeah, major mark.
Yeah.
somewhere in my my prayer book, there will be a SpongeBob now.
Oh, yeah.
For Sam. There's a Rabbi Shelley loved Paisley, not Paisley's.
Peabody?
No.
No, that would have been easy.
Pansies.
Oh,
So there's a pansy in my
for
Nice.
Rabbi Shelley. All the rabbis have a little something in my prayer book.
Do we have a sense of how long it took for the Israelites to leave Egypt and get to the Red Sea and cross the Red Sea?
Oh.
No. Well, I don't know if the rabbis do. I don't know. In Torah, it's quick enough that the Egyptians are able to come after them. But, well, no. It would have taken at least a few days because God makes them wait at the shore of the Red Sea for the Egyptians to come after them so that God can prove God's might.
It's so easy to think of it as like the
It
Red Sea
happens
being
right-
right there. Like they
Yeah.
left Egypt and boop, boop, boop. This happened and it's the same day, you know, but no. Yeah.
But definitely there's a lot in the narrative that is them having to unlearn their old ways and their fears and like learning how to submit into power that they are consenting to trust and consenting to, you know.
And then for a generation to die off.
Yeah. And a generation is usually represented by the number 40, too.
think it's interesting that this Kabbalistic stuff doesn't have as much tie to the land as, I mean, it has the wildernesses and those things, but these folks are living in cities at this point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
far less agrarian.
Far less
Different
agrarian, it's a different
audience.
different audience, different focus.
Yeah.
It takes it out of your hands and puts it into your head. It's more.
Yeah, it's more about you and internally to you than it is about paying attention to the reins and the life around you and the
Even the community.
and even the
Oh, yeah,
community.
yeah, there's
so
no
much,
community in
much
here.
less about community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, prior to getting to Sinai, there was very few laws.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yes. Yeah. Before I forget, I want to add the final bit of the customs and how that connects here. So, the Zohar was written in the Middle Ages, but it was attributed to a rabbi from the Mishnaic period, from way, way, way earlier. We've pretty much proven that that is not actually true, but that's what the traditional, who the traditional author is supposed to be. And so there is some connection to celebrating that rabbi who is supposed to be the author of the Zohar, because there's a lot about the Omer and the Sfirot tied in this writing. And there is also a custom to have bonfires. And I'm blanking right now on the Kabbalistic significance of the flame.
Well, there's the traditional kind of triangular, you take the offering, you put it in the fire, it goes to God, God blesses you. Kind of that.
I think they turn it into in the same way that they're turning all of this into an internal thing. It's like the flame of the spirit kind of thing. But I'll double check that. If anyone's interested, please let me know and I can send sources. Okay, so this is our last story. So first of all, by raise of hands, who likes, there's three of them. There's the Kabbalists, the Rabbi Akiva, and the agriculture.
Want the answer?
Oh, yes.
Profound
please.
symbol of the soul's connection to the divine, reflecting the structure of the human consciousness.
There you go.
The self.
Yeah.
Yep. The flame layers represent the different levels of the soul, while its upward flickering motion mirrors our yearning for spiritual elevation, and the ongoing struggle to harmonize our physical, the wick, with the spiritual, fire.
Perfect. Oh, and another custom, sorry, before we move on to the next thing, is if you've heard of, yes,
Archery.
yes, the bow and arrow is another Kabbalistic symbol.
Bonfires and archery.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, the bow and arrow is a symbol of Rabbi Akiva's revolt. The other custom is cutting children's hair. Young boys, you don't cut their hair until the age of 3. This comes from the idea of not taking fruit from a young tree until it's the age of 3. Then we tie the 3 to the 33 of Lag BaOmer, and it becomes a ritual to specifically cut the hair of the young boys on Lag BaOmer. Which does make for a fun, you have like a family bonfire and everybody is around celebrating the 3-year-old boy. It's cute.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's a Trace Amira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so,
take the payas, Joey's saying too.
yes.
Starts the payas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by raise of hands, who likes I'm going to ask which you like the most. Who likes the agricultural story the most?
I kind of like that one the best just because it all matches up. This is the
Yeah.
What about Rabbi Akiva? Why Rabbi Akiva?
I always have a special spot for Rabbi Akiva.
Standing up to
The Romans.
Romans, yeah. That strikes me as very you. Standing up to a.
I like the troublemaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Another word for that is ornery.
Ordering. Joey's on Team Akiva too.
Oh, same reason, different reason?
Usually Rabbi Akiva's great, so. You want to add anything?
Did you want to add something? I did.
Oh, no, I was on mute. So, yeah, I don't know. I like many things that have to do with, sacrifices and stuff. I'm not really into that. But I do like the story of Rabbi Akiva. He had a lot of wisdom to add, etc. I'm not really sure about all the stuff around, people dying and 12 and whatever. I'm not really sure about those type of numbers. I think in ancient times, a lot of stuff was exaggerated, especially with history. So, but anyway, it's I'm still having difficulty understanding, the traditions around the Omer, and it almost seems like we've created something, and I'm not seeing, all that importance to it.
Can you say the last sentence again? You're not seeing it all that.
Yeah, I'm not getting there's just so much about it, but I'm not just getting all the traditions that have come about. I don't see what the purpose is. So
How do we reconstruct it?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
next
How
step.
to give it meaning and make it applicable to today's times and today's Jews.
Right. Okay. I have lots of thoughts because one thing is, like, a lot of people in the room, I think, vibe well with the agricultural. So if you have access to, like, being with the land, I think that's like a really cool way to get into the Omer. But also a lot of people don't have access to that. That's not a realistic thing to just
Go out in the field.
just go out in the field and that's you'll be fine. But I also I have my own thoughts that I'm gonna offer about what is meaningful about it to me. But before I do that, I just want to. Is there any questions about like what we do connecting to which stories?
You can kind of see how it builds and it turns and changes and shifts with your new audience and your new years. And Joey saying, I also see the Zohar piece as needing help to move out of the metaphorical Mitzrayim.
And to Marty's point, you can really like it's kind of building on each other, and it's also kind of just the next era doing whatever they want with it. Like because there isn't necessarily this super strong basis once you take it out of the growing grains.
Right.
But then how do we take what was done and build on it in modern times? I've seen some really interesting stuff where folks do counting of the Omer cards and other things where you flip a card every day and kind of think like almost like those word a day calendars that are like, this is what you're thinking about and your intention for today.
Yeah. You see them as decks of cards. It's
Yeah.
49, 50, so
Right.
same size
So
and
it's
everything.
that same idea of almost like a very Kabbalistic tarot kind of thing of like, this is your intention for the first day. This is your intention for the second day.
Something to anchor your kavanah. So
that
yeah, you're doing this work even though we're no longer plowing fields and stuff like that.
And that is a lot of ways to do a lot of the ways that people will do that is through the Kabbalah, because they'll take the idea that there's 7 weeks and that there's 7 days. And as we saw, the 7 days also correspond to each of them. So they do kind of a chart where it's like week 1 is all Gevura, but week 1, day 1 is Gevura, like Gevura squared. And week 1, day 2 is Gevura and Netzach. Or, yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for the picture now.
And there are a lot of, you can find.
Oh, Recon too. Thank you, Ann Arbor Recon.
So you can find like activity things online that have different reflection questions for each day, depending on that. What I want to offer is, and we're going to move to this, is that counting the Omer is a practice of tapping into the Jewish calendar, because we don't live tapped into the Jewish calendar. It is the most common thing to be like, when is Rosh Hashanah?
I saw that as a joke the other day. It was the unifying Jewish experience, not knowing when Rosh Hashanah is.
Yes, exactly. So
when is that holiday?
Have to Google.
Yeah.
It's part of the Jewish. Now I'll find out.
So the invitation to count 49 days, like you're counting so much, is in and of itself an invitation to pay attention to the Jewish calendar. Calendars are the way that we mark time, but that also means they're the ways that we make meaning of things. Like, I'm sure everyone has had the experience of being off in the middle of the week and feeling really weird about it because it's not the weekend. That is something we made up. Like, we decided the calendar, and now it has meaning.
Well, it came from us. It came from Shabbat.
Yes, yeah, we
we did this to ourselves.
Well, the counting is more relevant to me because nowadays we take for granted that everybody has calendars and can keep track. 2,000 years ago, that was, or 3,000 years ago, really quite difficult. It wasn't readily available, and led to people who were astronomers to look at when the stars were in certain positions to know what month it was. The moon and the stars. That's how they told calendar time.
Okay, so what I'd like to do as a group is, and you don't have to mark it on your own paper, but you are welcome to. And for those on Zoom, you will have a filled out form so that you
I'll put it up.
have,
Do you want that one
have
up
it completed.
now? Put it up now or later? Not yet.
Up to y'all.
Okay.
If you want
I
a
can
cheat
always
sheet,
toggle.
it's not like.
Can I get one of those?
Oh,
We may have been one short. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Mom and I are going to be different because if it has anything to do with birthdays or anything else or special days, her special days are different than my special days.
Yeah. Okay, so this I have created, it matches up to this year. Obviously, it will change every year. But I'm hoping we can, as a group, start to put on some holidays and different things like that. Stickers, markers, pens are all available to make this as artsy as you would like.
I'm going to attempt to follow along with this.
Do y'all have
I've got little
enough
stars
stickers and
squares
markers?
Yeah, cool
Okay.
shapes I can put on here too.
Awesome.
Okay. So where we start?
Wherever anyone would like to throw something out there.
Well, Tishrei 1 is Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
So this is the start line.
Okay, Rosh Hashanah. Okay.
Can I do this?
Yeah.
November 1st is my daughter's birthday. So that's Heshvan. But their
Heshvan's no holidays. It's my
but
favorite.
their birthday was actually in Kislev, wasn't it? their actual birthday, I think, was
Oh.
in Kislev.
Oh,
You'll have to find out.
Yeah,
Because
yes,
one
that
thing
makes it-
about it is because the months line up with the moon cycle,
right.
this is a fun thing. It will be the same
Because-
moon every birthday.
Because their parsha for their birth, their B'nai Mitzvah was Sarah giving birth,
Right.
and the
Yeah.
that's Kislev.
Yeah.
So that's why I know that that's Kislev, that their birthday is in Kislev too,
Uh-huh.
because
Definitely don't want one here.
because their birthday is Parsha Sarah.
All right. What about
Not
Passover?
Parsha Sarah. It's-
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
that's-
Hayai Sarah?
Is it? I thought Sarah was her death, not
Oh,
her.
yeah, you're right.
It's not her giving birth.
Yeah.
It's in Nissan, right? 15, 20 of
15th
Nissan,
of
10.
Nisan.
15th of Nisan, yep. Which this year
Tu
was
B'Nisan.
the
Tu B'Nisan.
What is that?
that is
Pesach.
Passover.
Okay. My birthday's May 24th. Not really all that important in the world of Judaism, but
I am also a May birthday. May 17th.
twinsies. Are you a Gemini or are you?
No, I'm a Taurus.
You're.
Well, Adar has the leap month situation happening too. Because you sometimes get 2 Adars.
Mhm.
Yes, Adar, and so that was always fun. My wedding day was in Adar 2, so I didn't always have an anniversary, which got my ex-husband out of anniversary
My
parties.
stepbrother, February 29th.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they've been married like 4 years now, and it's really,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, my cousin is on March 1st, but he's February 29th.
Yeah.
So we always celebrated 3 years together, and then every 4th year he got his own
Ah.
birthday.
Yes, and then we sent him birthday cards like when he
Sweet 16.
his
yeah.
sweet 16. We sent it. Well, I'll send him birthday cards for his sweet 16, and then when he was 17, we all sent him. Now you can drive cards.
Yeah.
And you know.
That's awesome. All right, what other holidays?
We got off the Jewish conversation here.
It's good though. That's
Tu
that's-
B'Shvat.
thank you. I'm like, where is Shvat coming from in my head? Okay, there you go. Tu B'Shvat. Which means 15th, right?
Yep, it's the 15th day of Shvat.
And then we got Tu B'Av.
Yep.
So we haven't said much about Shavuot.
No,
Mm.
we didn't get there yet.
I guess I keep coming back to the idea that it's probably relatively exciting to count the number, to be anticipating the arrival of Torah and what it must have been like to be at Sinai.
Mhm.
And even as a non-believer, wow, that would have been a pretty exciting way to spend the day. You know,
Yeah.
with the smoke and, and supposedly a voice coming directly to
Right.
you
Yeah,
to give you the laws. I mean, if
Yeah.
any of it happened, it really would have been nice to be there.
Yeah.
So, although theoretically we were all supposed to be there,
Yes.
but,
Shavuot. ER for Shavuot? Or is it
No,
Sivan?
Sivan.
It is Sivan, okay.
It is the 6th of Sivan. It also, for now that we do the all-night study for Shavuot, that counting up until then, I think really makes that like a final sprint kind of thing. I guess final marathon, but the last leg of the marathon.
Speaking of last leg of the marathon, Joey's pointing out Elul itself can be considered a holiday. Somebody
Yes.
Lev Rothenberg at Judaism Unbound calls it the holy month. Like
Fun
the Hala
fact.
month, like holiday, Hala month.
Fun fact, I grew up at the same synagogue as Lex Rothberg.
Lex Rolfberg came to our Passover Seder collusion.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Jewish geography.
Where was I putting this?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I never get to do that being from the Midwest. Oh yes, Elul. And the first of Elul is one of the 4 New Years as well.
Okay.
We have now 3 out of 4. We have Rosh Hashanah.
Elul is New Year?
Mhm.
What?
I don't remember if it's
It's
from
just-
cattle or
Oh, it's like the field animals or something, right?
yeah.
I can't think of it.
And what's
Joey,
the
you got the term in your head for that? It's like New Year of the creatures or something, or anybody?
New Year of the Bugs.
No, it's primarily cattle. It's cattle and goats. Are goats cat? No, herds.
They have feet.
They do have feet.
Kislev, Hanukkah.
Yes.
The summary in Google says that it's the first of animal tithes,
Yes.
Animal tithes.
talking about
so-
Elul.
Yeah, you know
Gotcha.
how it'll sometimes say you need to bring a year-old calf? So instead of marking the birthday of every calf, they mark any of the calves that have been born by Elul 1st. That's their birth. That's the year that they were born.
It's your cutoff day for school.
Exactly.
Kindergarten cutoff.
Yeah,
Kindergarten cutoff.
Yeah.
And Tu B'Shvat is that for trees, because you can't pick from fruit trees for the first 3 years. So that's how you would count for the fruit trees. The idea being that Tu B'Shvat, that is, for us, it's like late January, early February, but that's right in the middle of the rainy season. And the idea is that this is probably when most of the seeds are germinated and sprouting.
And then there's Tisha B'Av.
Yes.
Hanukkah begins at sundown on the 25th of Kislev.
Thank you, Joey. I wrote down 10th.
Oh yeah, 25th.
25th. Thank you.
Just like Christmas. I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, we are missing several in Tishrei that come after Rosh Hashanah.
Yom Kippur,
Yes.
Sukkot, Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret.
Yep.
I give the rest
I
of
think
the
you got-
class a chance.
Walk the Bacon Holiday.
Did you get them all?
And then, let's see, we have 4. Oh, we are missing still one more. Are we missing one more New Year? Yes.
Yeah.
The 1st of Nisan is the final New Year. So the 4 New Years are Rosh Hashanah, 1st of Nisan, which are exact opposites on the calendar, and then Tu B'Shvat and the 1st of Elul, which are the two, like the tree and animals for tithing.
What was that? It was the New Year of, what month? The 1st of
Nisan.
That's it, thank you. There it is.
Does anyone know why Nisan is a new year? It relates to Passover. You're welcome to guess.
It's spring? Equinox? Or something?
It's the new year for the Jewish people, because God says now that you are going to be a free people, you need to start counting time for yourself, keeping your own calendar, not the calendar of the
It doesn't start this
empire. Yeah. Well, the Passover's on the 15th of Nisan.
Okay.
So the idea is God told them a little in advance when they're preparing.
Okay.
When God is also telling them, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to do the Passover sacrifice, and then you're going to have to leave really quickly.
Yeah. There's nothing in Tevit, is there?
Um, no, there's a minor fast.
I didn't realize we had a second, like,
No,
what
calendar.
about ER? Anything in there either?
It's a calendar.
Lag BaOmer.
Thank you.
Ah,
I really want to cheat and put Haskalah, but I am not. So if anybody doesn't know, Haskalah, we all know this Haskalah? Yeah, okay. I Google that every time I do the show, but I'm like, is this the proper Hebrew day? Yes, it is. Okay. Which parsha is it? Okay, good. When's that holiday going to be? Cannot do my
think so.
Okay. And so that one's in.
So I will admit that I did just Google Tammuz. I was wondering about. Also a minor fast day.
Yes.
Okay. So say
Tammuz is also, that's when we get the 3 weeks leading up to Tisha B'Av. If you've heard of the 3 weeks, they're
the saddest.
yes, they're the saddest. That is the period of mourning leading up to Tisha B'Av, with the 9 days in Av being the whole 3 weeks are sad, and then the 9 days are even sadder, and then Tisha B'Av, the 9th, is the saddest.
And 2 comes after? Tu B'Av is after or before?
After.
Okay, so we have the sad, and then we have a happy day later with
Yes.
frolic in the
Yes.
field. Okay.
And then, starting with the Tu B'Av, now that we're happy, then we get into the High Holy Day cycle, because we're going to move into Elul and Rosh Hashanah.
You can't be happy for very long, is basically it.
Yeah,
You gotta
have ups and downs.
Yeah.
And,
as soon as you're happy, then you have to start reflecting on why you're happy.
It's kind of like the podcast I was listening to about the history of Ukrainian Jews today, where the rabbi teaching said, no matter how good we have it for a while, that's when we as Jews should start looking for the other shoe to drop.
7 generations, right? I've heard that.
That wasn't a number he got into, but we were thick in the history of the massacres in mid 17th century Ukraine.
Yeah.
When I stopped listening.
I may be wrong with 7 generations. It may have been 70 years. It's one of those two that has 7 in it, but it's like a common period. If we got there, yes, then they kicked us out. Then we got there, and then they kicked us out. Then we got it, and then they kicked us out.
Yeah.
So there's patterns there. You know.
Ukrainians and Russians have a very, very similar perspective on it's going to be shit. It's going to be shit again. Get used to it. It's going to be shit.
I have a patch on
Have
my
some
purses.
vodka.
Hang in there, it gets worse.
Yeah.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was joking, we were talking about the agricultural things and when you can tell it's seasons, and we told the other day, driving in our road, the window open a little bit.
Ah,
It's
the
spreading
season of
manure.
spreading manure.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, Joey, I'm going to throw up the completed chart. We're going to see what we missed.
Okay.
We got a couple symbols in here.
I think.
Did we get to the inside purple lines, the purple and red lines yet?
Barrier.
I've got, we marked all the, okay, I'll show you.
Oh, okay. So we're missing. We should mark the actual Omer, and then Purim, and then the moons.
Wait, don't, that's as far as I got there.
Okay.
So we'll put moons in, and
then Purim
Passover.
and
My bat mitzvah.
marking the Omer.
That morning,
back.
I was in tears. I was literally in tears standing.
Okay. Purim falls is that Adar?
Purim is yes.
I find it interesting. I was saying in the chat that I wonder how I put the Hebrew date in a reflection on Finch every day, how that changes my experience with the Jewish calendar. And I realized looking at the completed one, I already do new moon because my dictation has learned the words Rosh Hodesh and actually spells them correctly.
Oh, wow.
It's weird when it learns and you're like, oh, thank you. And then you're like, you learn?
But when it doesn't
I
learn,
know it's coming, yeah.
I go to a morning minion 6 days of the week. It still gives me minion as the little yellow people from Pixar.
Yes.
I constantly talk to Rachel about yard sites.
Yeah.
Yard sites.
Yeah,
Yard
we have whole conversations about, did you put this yard site on the calendar? No, this yard site goes there. And I'm like, we just know what we're talking
At the
about.
school versus the shul versus the, you know.
Yeah.
The rabbi is not the rabbit.
Yes, the rabbi is not a rabbit,
We're not done.
and we are not ducking doing that.
We got perm, we got moons, we got, okay, so we got one moon per month. I gotta make a circle symbol here.
The first of each month is a new moon. And the 15th of each month is full moon. So this means that Passover starts on a full moon every year. Rosh
Is that your
Hashanah is a
phone?
new moon every year.
So it's always on the 15th is the whole moon?
Yep.
Okay, full moon's no.
And that's one of those I find with the full moon, it's not always visually obvious. But scientifically speaking, we have the science confirming when the new moon is.
Yeah, but is there somewhere where someone still goes out and looks?
No.
Okay.
In
Is
the Middle Ages, when there was the height of Muslim astronomers, there was also, if you know, Maimonides was also a scientist in this period, working very high up. In the government, and it was during that time that they figured out incredibly complicated mathematics to keep us completely on track, which is also, I was telling Matt earlier today, how often we have a leap year where we have the extra month is 7 out of 19 years. What kind of math is that? I don't know.
I got it right there. Sometimes 2 8-hours to accommodate leap year. 7 out of every 19. Because once I learned that, I died laughing.
Yeah.
I was telling everyone I know for 3 days. Do you realize that we do this? And they're not 7 in a row, or skip 2, then 1, skip 1, then 2, then 3, then my land.
And what's the other thing? Every 1,000 years.
Yeah, eventually it will still get off. I don't remember by how much, but I remember learning in the year 2060 whatever, or 21 something, then we'll have another extra month, because finally, after 1,000 years since we started counting, we'll be off by a little bit.
Isn't the total cycle 33 years? Somebody told me that
That might
the
be the
calendar
case.
has a 33 year.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna write that down to
Go check.
giggle list. But the fact that we used to have somebody go out and actually look for the moon, and then that news had to travel throughout the diaspora, and that took time. That is why we have the second day of Yom Tov. And fun fact that Liz probably is very familiar with now from doing the
Calendar.
Eid with the Muslims also go by the moon, but they do not do the math of so they go community by community. So you'll see, this is a thing you'll see online, Jews talking about having to ask off for Jewish holidays and being, putting that in, and then Muslims in the comments saying, at least what you can Google the date, because I have to wait for my community leader to tell me because they saw the moon.
So they're still observing and
by the moon.
But community sounds
right. So it is. I am very glad, like Joey was saying, that even though sometimes you can't see it, that we know the astronomical.
Well, think
dates.
about, Joey, if you lived in Alaska.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, the new moon and all of that. If you can't really see the moon because the sun's out all the time.
Well, and think about also for Shabbat and the 3 stars.
Yeah.
That had to be visually taken in as well for a long time.
Yep.
Except now we have Hebrew calendar, and I set alarms to tell me candle lighting and Havdalah.
Yep.
The way we can subscribe to calendars now is it's the only way, like, it makes sense. Like, you have the Hebrew day on each day of your calendar, and then you have to match, 15th here, 26th there, and don't swap them. And then I've got, like, the Parsha calendar, like, every Saturday. It's just labeled, this is the Parsha for each week, so I can always reference that. And then being able to have Passover's coming. Things like that. The alarms are so key to making any adulting happening anymore.
Okay, I have one reflection question, and then I have provided a resource which just has the blessing for the Omer is up top on one side, and then we'll do it together at the very end. You say the blessing, and then you say what day it is. I am planning on it.
You'll allow it.
I'm allowing myself to. So. But this has every single day and what date to say it for this year.
Ooh, handy.
So just a quick bit of reflection. Wondering what the Omer means to you right now, if anything. For your personal practice, for your own edification.
One year, I had a decent practice of participating with Institute for Jewish Spirituality's daily meditation. And they really leaned into Hesed v'Chesed, Hesed v'Malchut, Hesed, the chart and the matching and the X by Y. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to try and meditate on, like, more of a topic, but it was really difficult day by day to try and tweak that, and it's a lot of the same. Mm-hmm. So it's very, you've got to think about it. You have to count every day. You have to, if you're working with the Kavanah, you have to think about your different intention and then tweak it and again, track everything, which is why the sheet's handy. So it's like a transitionary period in which you're kind of almost taking a time to do a little in-service with yourself, and so it's kind of spring cleaning in here, in a way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got rid of the chametz, now you're getting rid of
baggage.
Love that, yeah.
I really like that idea.
It can feel like a lot, though. Oh, sorry, Jane, were you talking?
No, go ahead, no.
Okay. Yeah, it can feel like a lot.
Well, especially, I'm not sure. I'm currently in a Musar gathering. The technical name is VOD. I'm not sure there's really a good English word, but going over it, there are so many things to think of every day that I'm like, I'm just getting the counting. And what we're supposed to be thinking about. But like a meditation or anything, like Liz was saying, oh no, that I mean to do it. I mean to look it up on a website, but I haven't been. I've just been managing the counting. And I'm really serious about reconstructing it to, okay, I'm gonna do it with after the hand washing because I'm not gonna remember it either way if I don't.
The only reason I got that meditation stuff all done, it was during pandemic. There was no time, that was
Yeah.
Totally.
You did a lot of Jewish learning during pandemic. That was
Hello,
really
Zoom.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
really helpful. And it was at the start of your being sort of the admin.
Yeah, because I
Person?
started 2018 August, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really the beginning for you. So it was really helpful in that way that you did
I
this
had some learning to
massive
do.
download of Jewish culture for you.
Just background information, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to understand and put it all in one little net, and then now sitting in on every single class.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all confused, but
What were you gonna
It'll
say,
stay
Mom?
that way.
Oh, just that I had gotten a book a few years back, Jewish Book of Days,
Oh, yeah.
and I would read every morning, and I would read it to Lee. I'd make him sit and listen. And I'd read the days, thoughts, not really meditations, but just, something to think about today.
sort of like a page a day book.
Yeah,
Neat.
yeah. And that thing with the, like doing that for the Omer sound, I keep saying Omer sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's a
Flip chart.
yeah, nice way of doing it.
Yeah.
And giving it some meaning, relevance.
Yeah.
Reconstructing Judaism came out with, or what is that organization that did the angel cards that I bought at the convention too?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get to talk to them.
Anyway,
The org that does it?
yeah,
Does Ritual Well,
it was Ritual
Yeah.
Well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ritual Well sells the cards, like a deck of cards that's really like that.
Yeah, here we go. Joey's finding them on Etsy. Assorted Omer project. This one's by Mishka Jager. I've seen almost like a set of postcards where you could use them as mailing, but they're different like paintings. Like there was a color assigned to each attribute, and so you would write in yellow and red and green, and and you would have little art renditions of
I don't think
3D printed Omer counting chart. There we go. That's handy.
There you go, Joey.
There are some really cool like Omer counters that go back to, like the 19th century with like the fine metalwork.
Oh, yeah. That's
Filigree.
that filigree
yeah.
metalwork from like the Spanish
Mm-hmm.
that time
Yeah,
period.
very
Spanish
cool.
Renaissance kind of time period.
This would have been a good year, and I didn't do it, but to catalog the flowering, blossoming, blooming of all the different plants.
Yeah.
Because we just seem to be in a cycle where every day
Something
there was
new.
something new.
Yeah.
Press a flower a day in a book.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be neat?
Yeah.
Different flower a day.
Or you've seen those things where they take a picture in the same spot every day through the seasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do counting of the Omer selfies.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. But that's hard. It's so hard to do something every day.
Yeah.
And tying it to the hand washing prayer, tying it to, okay, I made my coffee, count the Omer. Like I took my medicine, brush my teeth, do this. It's does anyone have something they link it to already, or like you just think of it at some point during the day?
We have one that we put on the fridge so that we see it. But
There you go.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to do a bunch of things that are every day, And I have a really hard time doing everyday things.
Mm-hmm. We'll set cell phone alarms before we leave.
I connect it to every day. Sam says, "Oh, we have to count the Omer."
Yeah. I do what they tell me.
All right, should we?
Yeah, let's say it.
Okay,
All right.
we are on
413.
yes, 12 days. Cool.
This is the square we're looking at here, and the prayer's at the top of the page.
Are you on a different day because you?
Or is that sunset? So we're on the,
We're on 12.
okay.
412?
Not the 11th?
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the opposite. We went the other direction. Yeah.
Okay.
So the 12th will be tonight.
Yeah, we're not at the 12th yet because it's the evening. So we do the 11th.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
413 is when I started, okay.
I have Counselor 413. That's why the date's sticking in my head. Okay, 12th.
Correction.
We're still on the day of the 11th because night comes first.
You can take this one if you want.
Actually,
I'll switch. Okay.
Yeah, we've got extras.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with the blessing at the top and then say the today's 10 days part in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom 10 yamim shehem shavua echad Ushrosha Yamim LaOmer. Today is 10 days, which is 1 week and 3 days of the Omer. Yay.
I guess these will be really good learning activities for kids. It's a really concrete way of A, math, B, calendars, and then also just the tradition and everything. And then you get older kids, you can work in the sefer and stuff. But yeah, this would be very handy for kids because every day you gotta.
Mm.
Yay. All right, well, I'll stop the share. Anything else to add? I want to appreciate everybody for coming, everybody who's watching the recording. And I will send out a follow-up email with all of the documents.
Recording?
Yes, it did this to me last time. It should be in there. It's in here. There
That's
it is.
so weird.
It looks like it's not recording anymore. It's a
Yeah.
Zoom thing. It's terrible. But yes.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody for being here, and we'll see you soon.